Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. You're watching In Deep on the Delta. This is the weekly fishing report for the week of April 18th. And the largemouth bass here on the Delta, the last week to 10 days, it's been a very difficult puzzle to put together. The fishing's been good, it's been fair, and it's been tough, all depending on what part of the front you're fishing. And that's been the problem here in the last, I'll say throughout the spring this year. We have not had stable weather conditions. So we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. We're going to do a little river news. We'll talk about stripers, and then we're going to really focus on the largemouth bass. The San Joaquin Bassmasters Youth Bass Fishing Club raffle is going to be held April 30th. The last day you'll be able to get tickets will be April 29th. This is a fundraiser for the club. All the proceeds go to helping out the San Joaquin Bassmasters Youth Fishing Club. If you have any questions, call Cam Cardoza at 209-502-0258. And I'm hoping that a lot of you guys will get out and support this. They're going to have some great prizes for the raffle. I just want to let you know that I was out at the high school championships, the Bass Federation High School Championships that was held Sunday here on the Delta out at Ladd's Marina. They had a great turnout. I think they had 40 boats. Some of the best anglers, the best high school anglers in Northern California were up here. Had a great time, and I just want to give a shout out to everyone who supported that tournament, especially Archie Steele, the tournament director. I've known Archie for years, and he's been doing this for many, many years. I know it's kind of probably a thankless job, but Archie, you're doing a great job. Thanks for being out there for the kids. And I'd also like to hit up all the guys that are out there, offering their services, providing boats, boaters for the young anglers. A lot of the directors for the clubs, and I'm just going to mention a few here because I know they never get mentioned. Tony McKinnon, she is the moderator for the Vista Del Lago Club. We talk about Cam all the time, Cam Cardoza for the San Joaquin Bassmasters. Who else we got out there? We got Brad Soto for the Delta Saints. These are just a few of the clubs that I've had a chance to visit. And, I go out there and it never amazes me. The last few tournaments I've been out for the high school kids, they're just getting better and better. Their skill levels are getting better and better. The competition's getting tougher and tougher. And it's taking a lot of people to support this. And for all of us who always talk about, the kids need to get off the computers, get off their phones, get out in the wild and enjoy fishing and camping and just enjoying being outside. This is what they're doing. So just put that in the back of your mind when it comes to thinking about supporting. Maybe not, if you can support the San Joaquin Bassmasters, that's great, but your local clubs, they're all out there and they need support. So a big shout out to all the people who are supporting that, and hopefully we'll get more and more support, and there'll be more and more people involved, more and more young anglers involved in the youth fishing clubs here in Central California. One other thing I want to talk about is the Crappie Closet Lures. They're going to have another crappie tournament up at Lake Amador, May 4th. You can contact Marlin Carpenter. Marlin is the director. I'll put his number up, and it'll be in the remarks also. And for all you, panfish guys, crappie guys, I know you're out there. You want to fish some tournaments. This is the thing to get into. Marlin's trying to put together a whole series of tournaments. He's had a couple on the Delta now. And, I've been out to one of them. A lot of great guys out there. It's a lot of fun. So get into that Crappie Closet Lures crappie tournament trail coming up throughout the summer. All right, what's going on with stripers? They're in the Central Delta. There's not a lot of people talking about them, but the guys that are out there are catching fish. Most of the guys are trolling. They're trolling A-rigs anywhere from Ladd's up to the McCallamy River. Lots of people out there and lots of people catching fish. They're kind of concentrating around where the sloughs are flowing into the channel. Like I said, most of them are fishing A-rigs. The size of the fish are anywhere from about 20 to 22 inches, mostly in that schoolie size. But there are some fish that are sprinkled in, 8 and 10 pound fish. If you want to get that better class of fish, I would suggest probably waiting till the evening, getting out there just before dark and throwing some top waters or some glide baits, and there are some better fish to be caught. And most of the fish that I see coming in are really good quality fish. They've got some nice girth, and they're good looking fresh fish. So get out there and fish those bass, or striper, excuse me. With that, we're going to get right into the largemouth bass. And what I want to do here is I'm going to go over the tournament results first, and then we're going to talk about the river conditions as far as temperatures and clarity. And we're going to put this puzzle together and maybe give you guys some information that are coming out this next week on how you can maybe put together some pretty good bags if you get out there. So, talk about 3 tournaments that came up. The Delta Bass Club, small tournament. I think they run out of South Delta somewhere, or right out, I think they're actually out of Russo's. First place, and I'm just going to go over all of the results here, or the results for the top and the middle anglers out here, because you'll see the pattern that I'm getting at here in a minute. Okay, the Delta Bass Club, first place, 17 pounds, 5.7 ounces. Second place, 14.9. Third place, 14.7. I think they had about, I'll just say 12 boats, not sure. Smaller tournament. 2-day New Gen tournament, Pro-Am tournament, Saturday and Sunday. So these are 2-day tournament weights. First place was 45.9. Second place, 45.7. Third place, 45.6. That's a 22.5 pound limit per day average for the first 3. Now, if you got down into, and they had 30 boats at this tournament, 14th through 19th, those guys were getting around 28 pounds for a 2-day average. That is a 14 pound per day average. Keep that in mind. The TBF, the Bass Federation Youth High School Championship, had about, I think they had about 30 boats out there. Check this out. 1-day tournament, top bag was 27.5 pounds. So a great weight. I want to congratulate Colin Constantino and Brandon Baker. Hopefully I didn't pronounce your name wrong. And also their boater, John Vano. I'll tell you that they did a great job. I was out there, I was a boater. I want to congratulate my two anglers, Lucas and Alex. They put together a nice 5-fish limit. Congratulations to you guys, and congratulations to all, not only the young men that were out there fishing, but the young women. They're getting into bass fishing also in this high school stuff. They fished hard under tough conditions. It was cold, it was raining in the morning, and I'll tell you, I think almost everybody in that tournament put a 5-fish limit in the boat. So great job to all you guys out there, and my hat's off to you. So what are we getting at with all of these tournament results? Number 1, there's some really good bags coming in at the top. Number 2, and this is maybe the most important thing, and it may be more important to you anglers that are coming out on the weekend that may not be professionals, everyone's catching 5-fish limit, or 95% of everyone is catching a 5-fish limit. And that limit is weighing somewhere between 12 and 14 or 15 pounds. As we've been talking about, just a lot of good quality fish out in the Delta between 2.5 and 4 pounds. I think that's going to continue through the summer. And like I say, I think weights are going to get better in the tournaments, and the numbers are also going to get better. Now, why is it that some guys are getting 25 and 27 pound bags and other guys are getting 8 and 9 pound bags? It's this isolated bite window situation that we have on the Delta. And it's not only an isolated bite situation that happens in isolated areas, just little spots around the Delta have these bite windows that pop up. And if you happen to be at the right place at the right time, you're going to catch 2 or 3 nice heavy fish that are going to give you a good weight limit. If you're not in those areas, you could be doing everything right and you'll still put in 5 fish, but you're not going to get those bigger fish. So it's a matter of, once again, just being in the right place at the right time. Now, why has it been so tough to put this puzzle together in the last couple weeks? Well, we've had a week ago 62-degree water temps. I talked to the winning team for the TBF tournament, Colin and Brendan. They registered 52-degree water temps Sunday morning. Because of that front that came in, a cold front, the rain, sleet, snow in the mountains, hail down here, it dropped water temperature 10 degrees in about 3 days. Big female Florida bass don't like the conditions and the barometers popping around, the water temperatures popping around. So what happens, we had a lot of fish in pre-spawn and spawn that were up on shallow water, maybe on beds or into late pre-spawn, sitting up there ready to spawn. The front comes in. What it does, it knocks them right off the beds and it puts them back into 3, 4, 5 feet of water. As that storm front came through last week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the fishing was actually pretty darn good. Once it passed, we found that the winds died down, the sun came out, and the water temperatures start rising. I was out Tuesday, had about 60, 61 degree temps in the morning, so the water temperature is rising. That's bringing those fish that went from shallow water to deep water pre-front. It's moving them back from the deep water into shallow water post-front. Problem is, the day that we were out there, flat calm, no wind, 5 to 6 degree visibility, and the visibility in the Central Delta is 5 or 6 feet now, 4 to 6 feet. Down south, it's a little more stained, and up north around Liberty, it's stained up there a little bit, but it's getting better. All of the clarity is good enough to catch fish. But the problem is, that first couple days after that storm passes, man, we saw really clear water. Got out there in the morning, nothing going, no bugs. We couldn't spot a bluegill in the shallows. About 10:30, 11 o'clock, we started seeing a few bugs hatch. We started seeing bluegill running around, small bass. Then the bigger bass started moving from that deep water into the shallow water. I think everybody knows that. That's kind of common what happens. But you also have to think, as those fish come from the deep water into the shallow water, they are very spooky and they are very difficult to catch. Tuesday was just a monster day to get even a bite out there. The fish were on high alert. They were coming back into the shallows and they were on high alert. Very tough fishing. So here's the deal for you guys coming out this weekend. The fish will have been on that in that shallow water for 3 or 4 days. They're going to be acclimated. They're going to start biting. We have about a 10-day forecast of really good warm weather. The water temperatures are going to rise, and these fish are going to be in full bore spawn. And hopefully they're going to get a little crazy, and they're going to start becoming easier to catch. So how are you going to catch them? Number one, this last week, topwater frog fishing, I think, took a dive. I didn't hear anybody catching fish on topwater frogs. I didn't hear anybody catching fish on any other topwater bait. My topwater bite, it's gone. No popper fish, no walking bait fish. That being said, that was 3 or 4 days ago. As everything straightens out, that topwater bite is going to start again. So don't put down your topwaters, especially slower moving poppers and smaller walking baits. That's going to be the first thing they come on to. They'll be taking the frogs. They'll be taking, within a week or two, they're going to be taking buzz baits and whopper ploppers and faster moving baits. So don't take your topwaters off. The punch bite is still on, especially if you're looking for bigger fish. If you don't like to punch, the most common thing that people are catching fish on are still worms. T-rigs, Nico rigs, drop shot, robo worms, standard colors, green pumpkin, margarita mutilators, black with purple flake. You're going to get bit on worms, and you're going to get good numbers of fish, and you're going to get into some bigger fish on worms also. So don't put down your worms. Some guys are throwing crankbaits. Chatterbaits are still really good. You definitely want to have a chatterbait on. And the bottom line is, as we said, there are isolated bite windows all over the Delta, and you just have to put your confidence bait in front of the fish in those isolated areas at those isolated times, and you'll catch fish. Problem is, right now, it's hard to find those, or the last week, it's been hard to find those isolated bite windows. I am expecting, and most of you guys that know the Delta are going to know that those isolated bite windows are going to get longer and longer, and they're going to turn up in wider and wider areas. So we're going to have a much better chance of everybody going out having a good time catching fish. That being said, take care of these fish. Treat even the small fish. You get an 8, 10, 12-inch fish. That's a future 5-pound fish. Take care of these fish, unhook them, be gentle with them, get them back in the water as soon as you can. If you get a nice fish, take a picture, put it right back, and make sure that fish lives to fight another day. So with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you're out there, make sure you send me a report. Give me a little information on what you're doing. Fast moving baits, slow moving baits, water temps, clarities, things like that. You don't have to tell me where you are. Send me a picture if you get a nice picture. And until next week, I hope you guys are able to get out on the water. If I see you out there, make sure you stop and say hi. All I can say is good luck, and we'll see you guys on the river. Thanks for watching.